Welcome to Comics Are For Everybody, a show where we highlight some of the reasons for this very title. I'm your host, Sal. Let's get to it. There's always some bit of news about comics influencing the world of TV, celluloid, or streaming services and getting their shot at the limelight. So let's cover a couple of those stories in a segment we're calling Limelight. For some reason, Marvel always really liked the idea of making the X-Men into a motion comic. Sure, they did others before, Inhumans, Eternal, Spider-Woman, but they always came back to the X-Men, and most notably, Wolverine in particular. Now, what is a motion comic, you may ask? It's exactly what it sounds like. You take the original art from a comic book, make a few trace elements from the art move, get a few voice actors and a sound guy, and you've got yourself a motion comic. It's about as artistically satisfying as a music video. Oh, they also stopped doing them nearly 10 years ago. Now, my opinion of motion comics notwithstanding, the good people over at Screen Geek reached out to the classic voice actor Cal Dodd, aka the guy who played Wolverine in one of the single best superhero animated series of all time, to do a few lines as Old Man Logan, and let me tell you, the dude has still got the chops. I don't even know if you need the animation stuff, just a podcast of the original X-Men voice cast doing a radio drama of some of your favorite X-Men comics. This should be a thing that exists in the real world. But this recording that I'm talking about actually does exist, and you should absolutely check it out if you want to remind yourself just who is the best there is at what he does. Now, like it or not, Batwoman is coming to the Arrowverse. No more teasing, no more little nuggets of references. Quote, "We are adding the city of Gotham into the Arrowverse," promises Mark Pedowitz, president of the CW. You can expect to see Kathy Kane, hopefully in some form of Batwoman costume, fighting alongside Stephen Amell's Green Arrow this December. And finally, and most importantly, it is confirmed by co-writer of Solo, a Star Wars story, Jonathan Kasdan, that Lando is pansexual. And how can you argue with that? I mean, we saw his smooth operations on Princess Leia, yeah, but we all know what's going on between Lando and Lobot. Those cybernetic enhancements, let's just say Lando's made a few special modifications himself. Now, it's no secret that I love back issue spins, and I'd like to do my part to encourage that element of comic book collecting back into the culture at large. That's why we have a segment here on this show, where I'll toss out a comic or comic book series that you can probably find in some bargain bins at any major convention or heavily stocked comic shop, which we like to call On the Cheap. And the subject of On the Cheap for this episode is the 5-issue miniseries called 5 Ronin. Set in 17th century Japan, these comics written by Peter Milligan tell 17th century Japanese takes on some of Marvel's biggest characters. Why bring it up now? Because guess who's the subject of issue number 5? But honestly, Wolverine, Psylocke, Punisher, Hulk, and Deadpool all get their own unique take on this Ronin concept, which is a Japanese samurai who's broken with their master and gone rogue, along with stunning art cherry-picked for their characters. It is a seriously and legitimately cool concept with gorgeous art, and the best part is, you absolutely don't even need to get every single issue. If you only want to get Deadpool, you're good, but if you pick up all 5, you get a cohesive yarn that is worth the extremely low price of admission. So check those out, if you're ever of a mind. Now this week there are some comics coming out, as they do every week, that I'm going to give a try to, and I hope you do as well. In no particular order, here is the recommended reading. Brian Michael Bendis' last Iron Man story goes out with a bang in Invincible Iron Man number 600, paving the way for whatever it is that Dan Slott is going to have planned. Tons of guest artists, plus a new villain. Why not check it out? Flash number 47 sees the first shots fired in the Flash War, which this guy thinks just might be the start of some other DC Crisis/Flashpoint 2 on our hands. If we're talking about time travel in the Flash, you know it's going to send shockwaves throughout the DC universe, one way or the other. Finally, a bittersweet farewell to the Super Sons with number 16 as the finale of this unbelievably sweet, fun, addictive series. Author Peter J. Tomasi might not have been the first choice for this title, but he's the reason it was beloved by so many readers. Now, Damien and John, I hope your friendship and camaraderie continue in the next series, Adventures of Super Sons, coming later this year. Now, we all know there's thousands of different characters to choose from, but we feel it necessary to dedicate a segment of our show to talking about or spotlighting a character or hero who doesn't really get their due, in a segment we call Character Spotlight. And the Character Spotlight for today's episode is on Booster Gold, just recently a victim of his own selfless errand gone horribly awry in Tom King's Batman. A former future Gothamite of the 25th century, originally named Michael John Carter, was a star Gotham University quarterback who originally stole a time sphere from a Metropolis Space Museum in order to go back to the 20th century and build up his brand, doing his own version of superheroing. Booster Gold's most notable appearances include a long-time run on the Justice League stemming from the 1980s, and a pivotal primary role in the weekly series or event called 52, which you should absolutely check out. Booster Gold has always been tied to some grander destiny, although his origins and personality suggest he's either unaware of that or he's not interested in actualizing it. He has no superhuman abilities, but he does have a nifty futuristic power suit and other accoutrements stolen from his former job as a future museum night watchman, and also wields a flight ring from the Legion of Superheroes. Now keep an eye out for Booster Gold in the near future, as Tom King is not done with the poor guy yet, and rumor has it he'll be the central figure of an upcoming DC event later this year. And while he has been the butt of quite a few jokes here on this channel, we felt it was about time the dude finally got his due. So, here he is. Let us know in the comments down below, what do you think of Booster Gold? Is he a hero of the future, or a joke in the present? Before we jump into this segment, I want to introduce my lovely co-host, Tiffany. Thank you so much for joining me.
Of course.
If you're not familiar with this channel, it's a collaborative effort. We have a lot of different people on this channel, and, from time to time, we like to have them pop in and do something cool. We get a lot of different letters and packages and postcards and stuff, which we have a whole show dedicated to called Letters Page, but we like to highlight one or two of them every once in a while on this new show, so we're going to do that now.
Ooh.
So let's just jump into it.
Okay.
This package comes to us from Jeremy in West Virginia, and so we're going to jump into it. Jeremy, thank you so much.
Greetings, Comic Pop crew. First off, I want to apologize for my handwriting. It's actually fine. I hope you can read all of this. I came across your channel almost 4 years ago when I found your video on Flashpoint.
Hey.
Side note, I appreciate that Sal has a similar disinterest in Barry Allen. The guy is boring, and Wally was always way more interesting. Anyways, I've been a fan ever since. Most of my life, I've had nobody to talk to about comics with, and when I did, I could tell they had no interest in these characters. So, I love getting to listen to you all talk about the ridiculous nature that is comics. Well, comic books. So thanks for the fun and laughter you bring to myself and 65,000 others. Now I had actually found Ultimate Comics Doomsday at a con and bought it just to send to you guys.
Oh, no.
But literally 2 days later, you posted a letters page where someone sent it to you.
That's right, they did.
So now I have to figure out what to do with this ridiculous book. Anyway, here's some things that you didn't ask for. Sincerely, Jeremy.
Jeremy, thank you so much for this amazing letter. Yes, if you're not familiar, our channel is a little over 4 years old. We've been delving into the world of comics and sharing them with those who are not as familiar with them as I am.
Exactly.
So let's jump into it. Here we go.
Yeah, and by the way, Jeremy, your handwriting is actually just fine. I had no problem with that, other than my own reading problems.
Okay. Got a number. Oh, man. Okay, these are all Futures and holographic number ones or one-shots. We got Batman, Futures End.
Wow, look at that.
Superman, Futures End. Oh, boy. But look at how beautiful and holographic-y these lenticular covers are. We've also got Futures End, the Superman Wonder Woman series, which is now obsolete because they're no longer together, and Futures End Superboy, featuring this new 52 version of Connor Kent, poor guy.
Oh.
Lost to the winds of obscurity and time.
Well, for now, people are holding out hope.
Yeah. We also have all 3 volumes of Brightest Day, the sequel or continuation of Blackest Night.
Kind of apropos.
I agree.
Right?
A little less well-received than Blackest Night. I'm looking forward to checking this out and hopefully sharing it with our viewers out there.
Excellent.
We've also got 2 Justice League volumes, Justice League Volume 2 from New 52.
Wow.
Boom. Yeah.
What's up with the butterfly? Oh, this is. Oh, never mind. I know what this is now.
Oh, yes, you do. That's Justice League Volume 5.
Never mind. I retract my question.
Forever Heroes, which features, of course, the Crime Syndicate.
Yeah, I always loved Superwoman. Like,
her whole
that whole costume
look.
Yeah,
I really, really dug the Crime Syndicate and their look overall. Their whole concept and conceit. Obviously, I think my favorite is Owlman.
Yeah, he's great.
I loved this concept.
They really know how to put a cohesive look together.
It's true. I don't know where they got the idea. But Jeremy, thank you so much for your contribution. Of course, if you want to do so yourself, you can always send us a letter package or postcard or whatever in the description box down below. But every time that we do this show, fan mail, we're not always going to highlight a letter or package. We might just pull a comment from down below the old show.
Question or whatever.
Yeah, so thank you, Tiffany, for joining me.
Of course.
Well, that's it for this episode. If you like what you see, give us a like, subscribe here for a lot more shows, and of course, let us know what you'd like to see added to Comics Are For Everybody. We're still working out all the kinks and adding things as we go, so we're looking forward to continuing that conversation down there. Thanks a lot for watching, and have a great week.